Hey guys, check it out. You're watching Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. Oh no! The feeling that you get every time that you upload a video about Descendants of Zombies is truly unlike anything that you could ever compare it to. Because I've had the time of my life creating content for fans of Descendants of Zombies, having made this their favorite Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel of all time. This has become the #1 and everybody's favorite Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel for how I've been able to create and distribute relatable content that can relate to thousands of people because they were fans of Descendants of Zombies, and they believed in something so much with all of their heart that they deserve to see nothing but the best videos, best reviews about Descendants of Zombies that anybody could ever throw their way. And I've had the honor of creating hundreds of videos, over 800 videos, about Descendants of Zombies, your favorite characters, and all these defining moments that have made you a fan of Descendants of Zombies. Whoever you are, from wherever you're watching this video, or from wherever you hear my voice, I would just like to say thank you so much to the subscribers who have been with me from the very beginning, the new subscribers who have recently subscribed to this YouTube channel. If it's your first time here, welcome in, and welcome to the show. My name is Jonathan Clarke, and I am one of the most revered YouTube content creators for Descendants of Zombies, and certainly one of the most celebrated for how I could relate to thousands of people and how I could relate to you. Because I'm sure you have a story about how you became a fan of Descendants of Zombies. You remember the night that you saw Descendants of Zombies for the first time ever, and I'm sure you thought of it as an incredible experience, one that you will never ever forget. Perhaps you attended the Worlds Collide tour for the first time ever in your life, and you had a blast. And that is exactly what I wanted you to do this past summer, was go to the Worlds Collide tour and have fun. Because everybody who ever had a dream when it came to Descendants of Zombies and wanted to realize that dream coming into fruition and becoming a reality for them deserved to believe in that. I think that everybody out there deserves to continue to follow their passions and deserves to have a dream happen for them, because there's no more rewarding feeling than realizing that a dream is finally happening for you. Like when Kylie Control used to watch Descendants in the 4th grade, and you're saying to yourself, hey Jonathan Clarke, you know Kylie Control used to watch Descendants in the 4th grade. Wow, you really know everything about Descendants of Zombies. Well, if you're somebody who thinks that, thank you so much with all of your heart. Because I've always had a greater appreciation for your favorite stars and all these moments that have made you fans of Descendants of Zombies. Because many of you who watch Descendants are in the 4th grade yourself. And many of you have a long life and a long way to go, a long road ahead of you. And you're trying to make sense of your own life, and you're trying to put your own life together and put your own life into perspective. And I think Descendants of Zombies really has allowed us to do just that, along with being a part of something so special, because everybody has taken something special away from Descendants of Zombies, myself included. Because I not only had the honor of talking about Descendants of Zombies, I had the honor of relating and connecting with a very respectful niche for everything that I had to say about Descendants of Zombies, which truly blows my mind how incredibly supportive you guys have been of this guy on YouTube who was pretty much a loser before all of you became a part of my life. Before all of you became a part of my life, I pretty much would review video games, talk about TV shows and movies that never really made a whole lot of sense to a whole lot of people. And now everything that I say about Descendants of Zombies relates to more people than perhaps I'm ever given credit for. And certainly is the reason why, the profound reason, why this YouTube channel has become everybody's favorite. And I've gone on to become one of the most celebrated and most revered content creators of all time. Because if I was going to say something about Kylie Control at all, if I was going to say anything, it was going to have to be something nice. I see all these vlogs that Kylie Control throws up on social media every night. And the one thing that I notice about Kylie Control is how appreciative she is of the moments she spends with her friends, and even the moments she spends by herself. Because she's one of those people that is very appreciative of life, and all the opportunities that life gives her. Because every opportunity that's been thrown in the way of Kylie Control, she certainly made the most of. And I've just wanted to celebrate in these moments with each and every one of you. And if I was going to post a review with my thoughts in it on what Kylie Control had happening for her, it was going to have to be something nice. Because somewhere out there in this really big universe, even with how big this universe seems to be on times, there is a die-hard fan of Kylie Control that believes in Kylie Control with all of her heart. That believes in Freya Sky with all of their heart. And all they've ever wanted to see on YouTube is somebody go out of their way to say something nice while giving them hope for the foreseeable future. And I have wanted to be a part of that for a very long time. All I've ever wanted to be a part of because of Descendants of Zombies was the honor of creating relatable content that some way or somehow would go on to touch your heart. I never wanted to create a YouTube channel to achieve monetization and get paid for uploading videos, which many YouTube creators go out of their way and go above and beyond to achieve, because 4,000 watch hours and 1,000 subscribers, which I surpassed a long time ago, really has never meant anything to me. What's meant the most to me is how you guys have felt about Descendants and Zombies in your journey, discovering why you were a fan of Descendants and Zombies to begin with. And all I've ever wanted to do was break down and review and analyze these franchises in a way that you guys would feel connected and feel a part of a franchise, to feel as if you were a part of something special. This had nothing to do with how I wanted to become everybody's favorite content creator or become number one. It just had everything to do with how I wanted to showcase being a fan of Descendants and Zombies, and how I wanted to come through to people, and I wanted to connect with a niche somewhere, somehow, because I honestly didn't have any idea how I was going to relate to each and every one of you, but somewhere, somehow, I became everybody's favorite content creator and certainly one of the most celebrated. And it wouldn't be me if I didn't say thank you so much to the over almost 4,000 people who have subscribed here to this YouTube channel. That's really amazing to me when I take a look at the statistics of this YouTube channel. In less than 2 years, we have seen over 4,000 people subscribe here because they believed in Descendants and Zombies so much. Perhaps they were fans of Clarke and Clarke. They maybe were fans of Freya Sky. And I really can see why. It doesn't take a degree in rocket sciences to figure out why you guys are fans of Clarke and Clarke and Freya Sky. Because if you have to be a rocket scientist to figure it out, well, there's really no point of ever uploading a video about Descendants and Zombies. It has everything to do with how beautiful of souls people like Clarke and Clarke and Freya Sky are. It has everything to do with how you believe in these songs, how you believe in up-and-coming stars like Liamani Segura who just want to leave their mark on this industry, which is a very difficult industry to leave your mark behind because it's forever and always changing and it's constantly evolving. For those of you wondering why it's very difficult to make it in the music industry and the entertainment industries, it's because it's forever and always changing. So because it's forever and always changing, 20 years ago when we saw people like Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera come into the industry, there wasn't really that much competition. It was about how everybody thought that Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera deserved a chance, and there wasn't like 50 people in the industry trying to leave a name for themselves behind. Now in an industry 20 years later into the future, there's always a new name coming in behind from out of nowhere that just wants to leave an everlasting impression, trying to get ahead of each other. So it is very difficult to leave your name in the industry for being an actress or a singer. And I think that Descendants and Zombies has offered so many incredible opportunities to some of the greatest of all time. If you're wondering if I think that Clarke and Clarke and Freya Sky have a chance of going down in history for being some of the greatest of all time, sure I do. And I'm going to tell you why. Because we're going to do everything in our power to make sure that that happens for them. And that's why I created this YouTube channel. Because I saw all the criticism that Clarke and Clarke and Freya Sky were having to deal with. And to be honest with each and every one of you, it broke my heart. Along with how I wanted to give back to the Descendants and Zombies communities. If I wanted to do anything or be a part of this conversation, it was going to be to give back to this community because you guys have believed in it with all of your heart. And I wanted to give you something special to hold on to for forever and always, with the hope that you guys will one day accept me as your favorite content creator for Descendants and Zombies. And lo and behold, it happened. Because when you really think about it, who out there actually appears on camera and talks about Descendants and Zombies and speaks with an open heart and an open mind and relates to each and every one of you? Tells you about the stories about how he goes to the game store and he's excited about pre-ordering Resident Evil 9, or talking about the chances of a zombie apocalypse happening, or talking about how he loves Clarke and Clarke with all of his heart. I do it because I want you guys to understand how being a fan of Descendants and Zombies is cool and there's nothing wrong with it. And how the chances of a zombie apocalypse happening could never be more apparent than they are right now because of how crazy the world is getting. You have no idea how many times I pass through the day passes by, and I believe more than ever that a zombie apocalypse is happening because more people are zombieing out there in the world than ever given credit for. The world is getting pretty crazy out there, and that's why I believe that there is never enough opportunity or never enough time in every day to spread an emphatic message of kindness in every video that you upload. Because I really do believe that kind people do exist out there. And I can never give enough people enough credit for showing the kindness they do every day. Because some of the sweetest and some of the most genuine people are found within the Descendants and Zombies universe. And that's why I've chosen this universe to create content for and to be a part of for the rest of my life. If it's alright with each and every one of you, I would love to continue to be a part of the Descendants and Zombies fandom for the rest of my life, because this fandom is truly supportive of everything that I've ever believed in, truly supportive of what I believed in and what I wanted to be a part of, and I've just wanted to give something back to each and every one of you. I've wanted to be a part of this for a very long time, and you guys gave me that chance. Descendants and Zombies not only allowed me the opportunity to review these franchises, but it allowed me to become a part of it and share with you my story about how I was a fan of Disney ever since I was 5 years old. Ever since I could talk, I was a fan of Disney. So I grew up in a generation from at least 1986 to 1999, up until the turn of the millennium. And it was really fun having the honor to grow up in the late 1980s and throughout the decade of the 1990s, because I know people like Liamani and Kylie Cantrell have forever wanted to grow up in generations like the 1980s and 1990s because they were so fun. I remember Disney shows when people like Daniel Fishel, who played Topanga on Boy Meets World, had posters of the Backstreet Boys as part of the set of Boy Meets World in their bedroom. And it was so cool seeing how the Backstreet Boys and the Spice Girls and NSYNC would go on to achieve so much rarity in the music industry, which would eventually go on to constantly evolve and constantly change. Because there's no emphatic number one artist in the music industry. I've never cared how big Taylor Swift is or what kind of reputation Taylor Swift has, because there's always going to be someone relatively new, like a Sabrina Carpenter coming in from out of nowhere, coming from behind to take that number one spot away from Taylor Swift. Unquestionably, her revenue of $1.5 billion, which it currently stands at amongst every celebrity who has ever had the honor of having a recording contract. But I think that because we have all these new people in the industry, there has never been a bigger time for people like Kylie Cantrell and Freya Sky to really seize the opportunity, which is why I'm really looking forward to Freya Sky's up-and-coming Stars Align World Tour, because it's going to sell at over 15 cities in the United States. There's nowhere you can get a ticket for this one because Freya Sky is getting so many great reviews early on. And I think that in the fallout of this tour, it's going to set up for even more tour opportunities. It's going to set up for more exposure and more promotional events for Freya Sky, because obviously there's going to be a lot of PR for this tour. And it's something I'm really excited to be a part of. And I can only hope that Freya Sky has an enjoyable time promoting this tour and promoting herself the way she has forever and always wanted to promote herself. Because many years ago, when the Backstreet Boys and Britney Spears were trying to make names for themselves, they couldn't promote their album, or they couldn't promote their music or their group the way they wanted to, or their image the way they wanted to, because it was always about how the label wanted them to be perceived. And now I give people like Meg Donnelly and Kylie Cantrell a tremendous amount of credit for wanting to promote their work independently, which is forever and always a constant struggle, because believe you me, I've seen the best of them come and go. But I think that having the honor to create music, having your friends in your music videos, like Kylie Cantrell recently has had the honor of doing, seeing people like Malia Baker and Keanu Romero coming in to make cameos in the videos, I think it's really, really cool. You know, years ago, I always wanted to shoot music videos and have a band with my friends. So every Friday night we would get together, we'd play music in the shed and dream of making it big. And while we may have never made it big and probably performed at probably 3 or 4 Battle of the Bands when we were in high school because we were losers, the time we spent together was time that I will never ever forget. Kind of like how I've had the honor of spending with each and every one of you so much time, because time is ever more so precious, because we never seem to know how much time we have. And the time that I've spent with you creating all these wonderful videos that I could only hope would go on to touch your heart is time that I will never ever forget. Because some way or somehow, every fan of Descendants and Zombies has heard what I felt about Kylie Cantrell, has heard how I felt about Freya Sky. And all I've ever wanted to do is review songs like The Person I Thought I Knew, Gold's Gone, Silent Treatment, which is one of the best songs I've ever heard, by the way, because I think more people could relate to Freya Sky's new single, Silent Treatment, than ever given credit for, because of something they may have been going through that they never probably publicly admitted to you in the reaction videos they were posting at the time for Silent Treatment, because I think that everybody could relate to that song more than they ever could any Freya Sky song that had previously been released. Because I don't care who you are, you can relate to Freya Sky's music. You found time in relating to Kylie Cantrell's music. I mean, who else is going to come after them, after this generation of Disney stars is seen and over with, that is ever going to surpass the legacies of these stars that they are leaving behind? I hope that 20 years from now we can still have these conversations, and we can still be giving people like Freya Sky and Kylie Cantrell the praise they forever and always deserved. Because you guys have always deserved to be a part of something special. You've always deserved to have the chance to believe in something. And I've just felt so honored to be able to create the content that would go down in history for being some of the most relatable content ever created about Descendants and Zombies. Because numbers really don't tell me a whole lot about the success of a franchise, like 6.7 million views within the first 3 days of streaming for The Rise of Red, or how the Worlds Collide Tour sold out every venue, because that's what Disney had anticipated. That's what Disney expected. But the energy being at an all-time high in every venue at the Worlds Collide Tour was something that definitely went on to exceed all their expectations and all the reviewers that reviewed this thing. If I was going to say anything nice at all about any event of the Worlds Collide Tour, or I was going to say anything at all about the premiere of Zombies 4 Dawn of the Vampires, which we experienced together last summer, it was going to have to be something nice. Because you guys had heard so many false hope about Descendants and Zombies and seen so many fake trailers and what have you for far long enough. It's about time somebody actually uploaded videos that actually made sense to each and every one of you and stated for the facts, which are that Kylie Cantrell and Freya Sky are some of those beautiful people. They are undeniably gorgeous, and they are so strong. And I think that because we realize that they are so strong and they never really care what people have thought about them, although they are very emotional people, which they always try to hide from all of us. And I really appreciate how sometimes, more often than enough, they have these emotional breakdowns during TikTok videos and videos they upload to YouTube, because they're letting you know what goes on behind the camera. Because I think we should have more opportunities to see what goes on behind the camera for these stars, because they have to deal with so much pressure. There is a lot of pressure that goes with being a Descendants and Zombies star. And there is a lot of pressure every single time that camera says action. And I think that the more that we understand what they go through, the more we can relate to them, just as they've been able to relate to us, because we've had a dream of wanting to be involved in these productions for Descendants and Zombies. I got to be honest with each and every one of you. I've always wanted to be the hero in the Descendants and Zombies franchise. Kind of be that guy that rides in on that white horse and saves the day. And mark my words, guys, if I ever get the opportunity to be a part of the Descendants and Zombies franchise as the guy who rides in on the white horse, it will be the funniest Descendants and Zombies movie, and certainly one of the most entertaining of the franchises that you will ever see. Because I think if it were up to you guys, I would be in the Descendants and Zombies franchises. I would either be in the Descendants and Zombies franchises, or I'd be the writer and producer behind it. Because you guys have obviously seen something special in me from every video that I've ever had the honor of uploading. And it's been my honor to create this wonderful content for everybody that's been so relatable to everybody who ever was a fan of Descendants and Zombies. I know many of you are trying to find out what the songs are going to be in Descendants 5 with Wonderland. I can tell you there's going to be a remix of Life is Sweeter When You Are, which is something I'm really intrigued by, because there's just something about that song, isn't it? Life is Sweeter When You Are. I listen to that song every day on my big Bluetooth speaker. I actually have it right here. And I listen to Life is Sweeter When You Are every single day on this huge Bluetooth speaker. I didn't even know why I bought this thing. But actually I bought it because I love listening to Disney music. I listen to that song every single day because that song really exemplifies how much further kindness can take a person in this lifetime. Because I've always believed there are never enough kind people seen in this world. And I think that the more kindness that we can put in a person's life, and we can give them something to believe in, that's what makes these moments so special. Because we're never going to have the chance to be fans of Descendants and Zombies in any other lifetime, only this one. So because we're only ever given one life to live, we certainly should make the most of it. And if we can make friends with somebody that we may have never been friends with before, if we can give a chance to somebody out there that needs a little bit of extra kindness seen in their lifetime, we should make the most of every opportunity that we're given. And that's something that we've learned time and time again and taken away from Descendants and Zombies. Point being, ladies and gentlemen, I have never felt more honored to be a part of Descendants and Zombies, just like each and every one of you have had the honor of being a part of it. Because you guys have given me the opportunity to represent each and every one of you as your voice of Descendants and Zombies. And I know that no matter where I go from here, the opportunity that Descendants and Zombies gave me and showed me is one that I will never ever forget. Thank you guys so much for allowing me the honor of being your voice of Descendants and Zombies and representing you in this fandom. Because you guys gave me the opportunity to become a part of this fandom, and I felt like I never left since. I felt like a guy who's been wearing a backpack on his back, wandering through the forests of Oradon, having the honor of attending Oradon Prep, visiting Merlin Academy, and I've never left since. And honestly, guys, thank you so much. Do you guys remember Jonathan from Hotel Transylvania, how he was just wandering through the woods of Transylvania one night and then he stumbled upon Dracula's castle? Well, that's how I felt about the Descendants franchise. I feel like I'm a guy who's just wandering through the forest one night with a backpack on his back until he just stumbles across Merlin Academy and Oradon Prep. And I feel like I've been a part of these franchises for forever. And some way or somehow, I've been able to touch the heart of every fan of Descendants and Zombies out there. Thank you to everybody who has subscribed to this YouTube channel. Thank you to everybody who has made this their favorite Descendants and Zombies YouTube channel of all time. And thank you so much for really believing in me when you really never had to. Because this has become everybody's favorite Descendants and Zombies YouTube channel for its wonderful content and how it's been able to relate to each and every one of you. And it's been my honor to create all this wonderful, relatable content for everybody who may have been a fan of Descendants and Zombies. So I'm going to go ahead, as of right now, and upload this video, never knowing how many views or subscribers each video is going to get. And just hope that somebody's going to hear my voice or see this video after having clicked on my really cool thumbnail, which I spend a lot of time on creating for you guys because you've deserved the best thumbnails and the best videos of all time. And I've never felt more honored to be that guy to give it to you. And if I can come through every single time at the end of every conversation after having succeeded at touching everybody's heart of Descendants and Zombies, that is the most rewarding feeling and all I've ever wanted to get at creating videos about Descendants and Zombies. Because if you can't touch somebody's heart for being a fan of Descendants and Zombies, then really what's the point? Thank you so much for having made this your favorite Descendants and Zombies YouTube channel of all time. And thank you so much for having watched this video. It's been my honor to create all this wonderful content, heartwarming and relatable content for every fan of Descendants and Zombies. And I look forward to having many more of these conversations in the very near future. Why? Because this story is far from over. Because it really has never had to be. And everybody deserves to be given at least one chance in this lifetime to believe in something special. And obviously for all of us who have come together, it's Descendants and Zombies. Thank you so much for having made this your favorite Descendants and Zombies YouTube channel of all time. And thank you so much for having watched this video.